everybody, welcome back to Sam Who Can't or Can. Today we are finally outside in the wonderful 85 degree heat with like a 60% chance of humidity. I wish I could show you the clouds right now. It's threatening to storm any time. If you look down, you will notice everything is wet. That's because our first opportunity to go outside is our only opportunity to go outside for the next week since we're going to be getting rainstorms. So we're going to go ahead and pick up some deadfall today, and we stumbled upon a huge find. This is a freshly downed tree. This tree has not been down for that long. You can tell because of all of the crap around it. If you look at the slide tracks and stuff, this is still fresh. This has only been down, this probably broke yesterday. The trunk stump is all the way up there, which I don't know if Kendra can get, but the trunk stump is still fresh all the way around the edges, which means that this is less than 24 hours old. Most likely it broke sometime last night. Now, this is a good and a bad thing for us. A good thing because we can harvest the bark and stuff off of this. Bad thing because a lot of this wood is probably rotted. From the way everything looks, I think this tree's been hollowed out. So there's not going to be a lot of good branches on it, but there's going to be a lot of bark we can use. So we're going to go ahead and get started harvesting some stuff for the fairy stuff. Harvesting some tree bark and stuff for the fairy houses. So I brought my backpack today. We are bug sprayed up because bug spray helps everybody. Now, I'm going to have to dry all of this out. It's going to take a while to dry out, but it's going to take a while before we film again, so that's probably a good thing. We're only going to do one bag for right this minute because we still got a lot to do. We literally just started. I don't even think we've been on this trail for what, 5 minutes, Kendra? And we just stumbled upon this. So we're not going to waste this opportunity to get some bark, because bark's one of the harder things to get. Alright, so time to get barking. Don't make me laugh, we're on a steep slope. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Ah! Centipede! So this thing is rotted to the core, but I should be able to dry out some of this bark. And that's what we're aiming for. Now it is okay for your bark to be all chunky, because your fairy house isn't going to be straight up and down. This is how many pieces of bark you need by this many pieces of bark. Your fairy house is supposed to be a free form of movement. So having smaller pieces of bark is just as important as having the big ones. That being said, I like getting bigger pieces of bark too. Do you have a knife? The one thing I forgot to grab. Hopefully you remember to grab a knife bigger than Kendra.
I've got one in my purse.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I should have brought my knife, because I have a knife that go out for this stuff on. Oh, fuck, this thing is not rotted on the floor. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Now, we don't want to take any buggies with us, so I'm actually probably going to spray this back down after we get it filled. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now, this is the problem with greenwood. Greenwood takes a while to break and your ends wind up getting split. So this is still a pretty fresh fall. It hasn't been down for a while. Like I said, this all totals into this not being down for a while. We're going to break off some of these branches and strip them. So I want the branches, not the leaves. leaves are too much of a pain in the ass to deal with. You can do them if you like them, but you have to dry them out, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with it. So, let's see if I can keep part of this branch, though, because this branch isn't rotted, and I like the way that it's shaped. So, see if I can strip her down a bit more. I'd say we could grab some of these nuts, but all these nuts are still too green. Like, literally, these nuts are still too green. So the green shells aren't necessarily the best because they're still retaining a lot of the water that they have. And that doesn't necessarily mean that a squirrel's been to them yet, because they're too raw for the squirrels to eat. Now you can dry out the green nuts and age the green nuts if you want to. I will honest to God forget about the green nuts, so it's not the best course of action for me. Alright, I like that. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm stripping down these leaves because I don't want them, but I do want some of these smaller twigs because they will come in handy later, so I'm not getting rid of all of them. Just getting rid of the ones that look really bad. Or I'm breaking them off where I need to just to get rid of the leaves. Now you can literally just pull the leaf off at the stem if you want to be more detailed about it, but we have a lot of stuff to do today, so I'm just doing a general strip. Okay. So I like the shape of this, but I don't like the length of it, partially because we didn't bring anything big to carry stuff in today. I just brought my bag. I wasn't expecting to find a bounty. But mainly, I just want that shape. Because we can actually use that as part of the base or as one of the foundation steps. Literally set that on the ground, brace it with maybe another tree, and then we've got our foundation for what our fairy house will become. So things like this are good foundation branches. You can get bigger ones. I've used bigger ones. I don't want to build a massive house this time, but it looks like if we use this, it might be pretty big or tall. So we'll see. Let's get this into our bag. Let me pick over this for a few more minutes to give the camera a break, and then we'll keep going.
You know, Sam,
Yeah?
when you said we were going to the park, this is not what I had pictured.
But it's a park.
It is a park, but you should have specified because we're in the city. I was thinking of a city park, not muddy trails, because as you can see, I did not wear the appropriate footwear.
Dude, then you should have said you wanted to go over to the green park on the other side of town that's all walking paths and gardens and expensive things to go play money for.
Or, you could have told me there were muddy trails and I'd have worn proper attire.
I thought you knew when I said we were going to go scavenging for deadfall that you were going to be involved in greenery.
Well, there's deadfall wherever there are trees.
Not the deadfall we're looking for, sweetheart.
Now I know.
Alright, so, we did not take a lot from that trunk down there because it still needs to dry out for a while. It is too slippery and too muddy to get to the best parts of the bark, and there are too many things eating it right now. It needs to dry out for a little bit, which is not going to happen this week. But we shall come back and see later if it has had some time to dry out and it isn't too degraded. So we're going to go off on the rest of our adventure. We'll be back in a little bit. Alright, we're going to be back in a little bit. We're going to go off. I'm going to give Kendra a little bit of a break, and we're going to walk alongside the lake for a minute. Okay, let's go. Hey Kendra, guess what? We're trapped.
Oh, no, 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 no! Come back!
We'll be back. A few things about nuts. Sorry I'm out of breath. We just walked up a really big hill. This is a nut. For those of you who do not know, this is what the nut looks like when it falls from the tree. Then bugs, it dries and flakes off. Bugs can get at it. And that hard thing right there, that's actually the shell of the nut, which is what you see in stores. So around here somewhere, because we've got a lot of these, around here somewhere, there is either a pecan tree or a walnut tree. Walnut casings are usually about that big. So I'm thinking this is pecan. I'm not going to use these. First of all, they stink to high heavens. It's terrible to dry them out properly. People who get the actual nut part out of this have machines that literally just shear this off and break it off. So we're not actually going to get these, but I thought that was a fun little thing to show you guys in case you didn't know. So we're going to give these back to the animals and let them have fun with them and continue on our journey. You should have worn shoes.
How about no? So we found this spooky hole. Pretty sure goblins live there. And they like to shop at a local gas station.
Okay, so how I can tell that the other fall was fresh fall. That mudslide that we saw, that even in rainy weather, if you look down here at this, even in wet or rainy weather, it starts to compact back down after a few days. This has been here for a little while though. I would have to say this has probably been here for about a month or more. And I say that because most of this ground has compacted back down. There's some fresh stuff over here, but that's more from bugs and insects and turtles, like that turtle sitting on it over there, than it is from the actual fall. You'll also notice that around where it fell at, everything sprung back up and is growing around it now. That says that it's been here a while. Now this tree still has roots inside the ground, which is why it's still leafy and green. But it doesn't have a lot and it's dying. You can tell that by how the other branches out there that are actually on the water, the ones on the very end, don't have any leaves anymore. It's only the ones closer to the shore that do. So this is going down. It looks like the park's marked it for removal. There's a paint mark on it down there. The park will mark trees for removal so that they're not a hazard to walkers or animal life. Some they will leave because it is beneficial to making a new growth, even for insects, small animals, lizards, frogs, things like that. So in a natural forest, this would sit here until literally the forest decomposed it and it composted back down into dirt. But the city will remove it soon, probably. But like I said, this has been down for a while. My guess has been about a month. Because even these roots that are still attached right here, you can see that the ground is settled around them. So we're going to go ahead and head out. We got some good base branches. They're rotted and wet, but when they dry out, they'll be a good support structure if we tie them right. So let's go for it. Okay, you guys might make the mistake Kendra just did of, ooh, that's pretty, when you're looking at that. That's not pretty. That's a fungus that's killing the tree. If you look at it and you look up a little bit further, you will see the other roots and stuff, and even up to the base of the trunk have the fungus in them. If you keep looking up, you will notice that most of the branches on the tree are dead. That tree's dying. It's just waiting until its end. So branches like that are a no-go for fairy houses because you don't know what funguses you might catch or pass on to your pets or actually can make you sick. There are funguses on trees and stuff that can make you sick. That's why we tend to avoid trees that look weird, and I will point those out as we come across them. Most of the tree funguses is only spread from plant life to plant life, but some of them can get into animals, insects, and everything else. Okay, we're stopping to take a little bit of a break because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm fluffy. And fluffy people need breaks. And on top of that, I smoke cigarettes, which is not something I condone other people doing. I started smoking when I was young and stupid. I'm smarter now, and I'm working on stopping. I love the outdoors when it's good weather. I love the outdoors when it's not a swamp. I love the outdoors when usually everything's dead and the snakes are gone. It's one of the things that keeps me inside. I grew up in Colorado for a short time, and then I've been in Missouri most of my life. This is some of the stuff you find in Missouri. This is literally inside a city park. Rock climbing gyms will actually bring their people out here and teach them how to scale, and we'll show you another place where they teach them how to scale too. It's beautiful. It's dense. It's like a freaking Missouri jungle because Missouri is hot and humid, especially in the south. One thing I don't like, and as a smoker I even hate this, is people who leave their trash. Any cigarette I smoke while I am hiking or doing anything, I field strip the tobacco and the paper, which is biodegradable. I take it and pull it. After I put my cigarette out, I pull it, crumble that up, and leave it in the dirt. Okay? I keep my filter and I put it in my pocket or I put it in my pack because the filter has dead people, dead bodies. Kendra, help me. Embalming fluid. The filters have chemicals that are used in embalming fluid in it. They have plastics in them. They have insulator in them. There's some insulation in there. That doesn't degrade and it's terrible for the environment. So if you want to come and enjoy the wonders of the nature that you have, I mean, hell, look at that tiny little flower. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful purple flower there, people. If you want to enjoy the environment, don't leave your trash. That's just going to make it worse. Especially if you want to build a fairy house. That is called an oxymoron. I need water. Let's breathe. It's actually sticking around. I love how their tail glints in the sun.
Hi! This is a blue-tailed salamander. They're all over Missouri, and they are so cool. Let me zoom in, get you guys a real close look. It's so cool. It's really loud because we're near a waterfall right now. But hey, guy, you are officially on Sam Can't or Can. Woo! What is your opinion on the human race? Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, now one of the awesome things about Missouri that you guys don't, like, a lot of people say there's nothing here. There is. You just have to go find it. Once again, city park. If you look right over there, there's a main road over there that leads to one of the main streets in town, and this is right near it. This is everywhere in Missouri, but we see it so often, a lot of people don't talk it up. This is actually the water's not the best, but it is from a natural creek and spring. It's gotten polluted over the years. The parks have been doing so much better at keeping it clean. So it can go and feed down the river, down the creek that it's going to become. And it's just awesome to have little water features like this. In St. Joseph, Missouri, there's actually a park called Krug Park. And if you take about a 20-minute hike off of where they have the horse stuff, you'll have to ask the St. Joe person about that. You take about a 20-minute hike, there is a massive, like 10-foot waterfall with a huge creek and stream that could actually probably be considered a river. We have this crap everywhere. It's not new to us. We're going to tell you that, if we're really pissed off at our state, we'll tell you we have nothing. But then we have this. I remember coming here a while back when I first came to Springfield before they started cleaning up this park. And it was just nasty. And the city park has done such a huge job. I mean, even look out at the lake. They've even started putting up stuff telling you not to feed the geese or the ducks. Those little containers are for water environments. They're trying to preserve and grow more like that island out there. So what they're trying to do is create more islands for the animals to go on that's away from people. And this has cleaned up so much from what it was when I came here 11, 12, 13 years ago. So, I love my city. I love my state. I call it the land of misery sometimes because of the heat. The weather's not my favorite, but I love this state. So, let's go find some more stuff for fairy houses. I like the two little caves.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. Too bad all the trees inside of there aren't good for fairy houses. Welcome to Secret Park.
Okay, y'all, you see that over there, way over there. That is where she took me without warning me that I would need closed-toed footwear, aka boots, because she failed to warn me that it was not your tame little city park. There's a part of this place that is very wild. Normally, I would love that. But since you haven't seen enough of my feet, this is what I did.
You're such a baby.
Yeah, sure. You are washing those off before you get in my car.
Oh, yeah. Hey, here in Missouri, we don't have tame city parks.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Okay, everybody, we got about a bag and a half. Sorry, bug. We got about a bag and a half of twigs and stuff and tree stuff and some bark. Not a lot of bark. Everything's still too wet. I do most of my outside gathering stuff in the fall once everything's really started to dry, but before rot really sets in for the stuff that's rotting out. All of the nuts are still too green to pick up anything that's decent, and the stuff that maybe might not be too green. Bug, sorry. The stuff that maybe might not be too green is too broken or too wet. And we got some pretty good sized twigs. I've got a base branch here. We've got enough twigs and stuff and some bark from our last grouping that I'm going to get this stuff dried out and we're going to play with it. Now some of it's going to have to cure. We might actually just start the fairy house with that willow wood that I have and some other stuff that I may still have left. So we are going to end this episode of Journeying into the Wild with Sam Can't or Can. And we know that Sam can pick up stuff and hike, but Sam can't find the stuff Sam needs. So, anyway, have fun. Until next time. I need to go get a shower now. I feel gross.